It's Tuesday, the 5th of September 2023. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson and Jennifer Duke. Good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Now, Jen, we've got 5 stories to rip through in 5 minutes. We better get going. Story number 1, the situation for Qantas just kind of goes from bad to worse, doesn't it? You've got Qantas chair Richard Goyder now under pressure to claw back outgoing CEO Alan Joyce's multi-million-dollar bonus.
Yeah, the chairman is set to meet with shareholders of the airline following last week's shock decision from the competition watchdog to pursue up to $250 million worth of fines. And that was over claims that Qantas sold tickets for flights that were already cancelled. So the Australian Shareholders Association told The Australian that remuneration is a key focus issue for them and the airline needs to consider what's appropriate. Qantas had a record annual profit last year and Alan Joyce actually got more than $10 million worth of shares paid out to him on Friday, and another $12 million or so is due to his bank balance for his short and long-term bonuses for 2023. We'll just have to wait for the annual report later this month to see how much Joyce is due to get in terms of bonuses ahead of a shareholder vote.
And Qantas issued a statement yesterday about the ACCC proceedings that struck a slightly different tone, didn't it, to last week?
Definitely. It was a really apologetic note. They acknowledged concerns from customers, staff and the community. And they said the ACCC's claims relate to a period of significant upheaval for the airline that was obviously during COVID and that they've worked hard to fix the issues. They said their reputation has been hit really hard and they'd heard the disappointment loud and clear, but are determined to repair their relationship with the public.
And just very quickly, Jen, this has become an issue in federal parliament, but even state Labor premiers are wading in. Everyone's having a go, it seems.
Yeah, Queensland's acting Premier Stephen Miles said that if it was up to the government up there, they would have approved the flights. WA Premier Roger Cook is actually in Jakarta this week, but he even weighed in and told the Financial Review that Qantas received heaps of goodwill in terms of taxpayer-funded help during the pandemic, and they should have returned that goodwill by keeping prices down when households are struggling with the cost of living. He's also not convinced that WA is getting the best that they could be getting from Qantas. This all caused Prime Minister Anthony Albanese have to deny in Parliament that he gave any sweetheart deal to Qantas, and he says that Qatar can already opt to fly into Adelaide, the Gold Coast, Avalon, Hobart and Canberra, but simply chooses not to.
All right, this is a story that is not going away. On to story number 2. The Reserve Bank is due to hand down its interest rate decision this afternoon. Now, you are the economics correspondent for Capital Brief in your day job, so you will be keeping a very close eye on this one and you'll bring us all the information in this afternoon's afternoon report. But the RBA has got plenty to discuss, including new data showing shoppers are pulling back on spending over the last 12 months.
So it looks like previous rate rises are finally taking effect. Household spending fell 0.7% in July, that's compared to the year before, and that's on Australian Bureau of Statistics data. And this is a really important piece of statistics. It's the first time since February 2021 that this particular indicator has fallen, and it's even more reason for economists to be confident the RBA will keep rates on hold this afternoon.
All right, just a very quick look at those figures. What are people pulling back on?
So it's all those discretionary purchases, which were down 3.3% over the year. Non-discretionary spending is up by 1.7%, but that's still the lowest rate of growth in about 2 years. Spending on goods had its biggest decline since July 2021, with a fall of over 4%. People are holding back on furnishings, clothes, shoes, and all the fun stuff, and services spending increased, which is largely health, transport, and things like that. So, of course, rising prices are having an effect here.
Now, story number 3, there's some worrying research coming out of Peak Body Business New South Wales. Nearly a quarter of businesses in that state are planning to cut staff over the next 3 months, and the pressures are actually national.
It's a really concerning bit of data, actually. So the Business New South Wales survey looked at more than 1,000 businesses, which together employ about 78,000 workers. And they found that 23% of those companies are planning to reduce staff in the coming quarter. Thankfully, just over 60% are intending to hold on to the same number of staff, but only 15% will hire more workers.
That's not particularly comforting for workers right now.
Yeah, not at all. So joblessness does remain pretty tight, but it has increased a little recently. And with high cost of living, it's tough for households to comprehend any time out of work at all. So as we mentioned before, higher interest rates are starting to hit consumer spending. And now we're seeing that this is having a knock-on effect for employers and their ability to keep staff. It's pretty concerning.
Yeah, certainly is. Okay, on to story number 4. And millennials are no longer heading to the big smoke to find jobs and are in fact going the other way. They're going to the country.
Yeah, so if you look at data from the Regional Australia Institute from 2011 to 2016, there was a net loss. So it's 37,025 to 39-year-olds who went to the capital cities from the regions. But from 2016 to 2021, there was a net gain to the country of 54,000 millennials.
So why are they actually moving, Jen?
So some of that move is definitely because of COVID, but the Institute reckons that the data is showing the trend was already underway even before we'd ever heard of lockdowns. They also claim that 1 in 5 people in the city still want to leave. It's cheaper in the country, it's more peaceful, you might even be able to afford a house. It kind of makes sense, really.
All right, last one. Story number 5, Jen. Barbie has become the top grossing film of 2023, taking the box office record title from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, they raked in $1.38 billion worldwide for Barbie. It's actually the biggest success in Warner Brothers history too.
It's a big year for Hollywood, isn't it?
It's a huge year, and it's not all glitter and glamour. So actors and scriptwriters have actually been on strike for their first joint action in about 6 decades, and California's economy is feeling it. They've taken a $5 billion hit as a result. The writers' part of the strike has been going on for about 125 days, but the Screen Actors Guild went on strike in mid-July, and that was just around the time that Barbie was released.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Jen.
Thanks so much, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 5th of September, 2023. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.